Now, my good friend Ruben here. Ruben, how are you, my friend?
What's going on, handsome? You ready to get swept? You
Oh, come
ready?
on,
Yeah,
man.
you,
You
you
know,
know.
you know that's T.Y. Hilton's second home, right?
Hey, man, I
We
haven't
got
seen T.Y. Hilton in a very
we
long
got a
time. Thank God
state
the
in
clown's
that
gone.
stadium, man. We the sales and boosters get picked up really well in NRG Stadium for Colts fans.
Hey, dude, I'm excited, man. This game's big for both teams.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, how crazy is it that, a couple of weeks ago, I mean, we had a situation where, obviously to start week after week 2, even at certain points we're like, "Oh man, this is starting to run away
Mhm.
as the, Texans division and everyone else is just faltering behind." Well, hey, listen, man. Colts win this game. We're tied with y'all record wise. Now, of course, you would get the tiebreaker over us right now because you got the better divisional record than we do. But man, I mean, after 8 weeks, never thought that we'd have the same record as each other potentially.
Hey, man, you got to give credit to Joe Flacco, man. That's what I'm telling you, dude. You got that QB controversy going on down there in Indy,
Oh my
baby.
gosh. Y'all are crazy, man. All right, let's get into this freaking thing. Shout out to BetUS guys for powering today's stream. If you guys are looking for a sports book this season, look no further than BetUS. Please be sure to like the stream, guys, wherever you are watching. It helps the algorithm, helps it get out to some more people. Be sure to comment and be sure to subscribe. We're on the push for 20,000 subscribers, but we need your guys' help to do it. Ruben, we'll start this thing out. From the last time that we played, obviously, close matchup. I was there at that game. And ever since then,
In
I
the
mean,
Stroud
they
house.
have looked like as if they are one of those teams that definitely belongs. They definitely have had some good games, and whether or not the quality of opponents, they're
Mhm.
always in it regardless, but they have lost a few of those. How have you felt from Houston from week 1 when we first played you guys to where they are now?
Feeling confident, but still excited for the rest of the season to play out. This Houston Texans team or this offense, has not been the offense that's been advertised in the offseason. We haven't seen that five-headed monster. However, man, I cannot complain with 5-2, first place in the AFC division. All you guys are looking up at us. We just got to get it going, and hopefully we get it going at home this week against Indy. But, man, it's hard not to be excited right now as a Houston Texans fan.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, definitely for the record that you guys have and what Stroud and company have been able to do, nothing short of great from your guys' end. Wanted to kind of talk real quick before we get into a BetUS bet here.
Mm.
Um, I will say, man, I've been talking about it a little bit, and I think it's one of the biggest contributing factors to this game on Sunday, and it's the fact that Nico Collins is not playing. I think, honestly, I said it on the roundtable that I think that is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest thing for your offense than anything else. Bigger than Joe Mixon, bigger than Stephon Diggs, certainly bigger than Tank Dell is Nico Collins not being available, because it just feels like whenever Nico Collins, I kind of said it's like we talked about the three-headed monster, right? Well, it
Mm-hmm.
feels like Nico Collins is that center head that kind of orchestrates everything else around it. And when that link is cut off, feels like the other two ends just don't really know what to do with themselves and don't know how to contribute as well. I mean, am I crazy to assume that, or has Nico Collins really been that pivotal to this offense for Houston?
I mean, we're talking about one of the best wide receivers in the NFL number wise. It's hard to go out and play offense without number 12 out there. We've had the joke here that he is the new what TY was to Houston. It's what Nico is against Indianapolis. It seems like every time he suits up against you guys, he's putting up big numbers. The big question we have, man, is the O-line. And right now, that has been our Achilles heel. Last week against the Green Bay Packers, They only blitz 17% of the time. However, CJ Stroud was under pressure around 48. Man, he was running for his life. You mentioned Grover Stewart back. That's something that we are closely monitoring. Right now for us, dude, it's the O-line, dude. Some questions around it and questions around guys who you spend a lot of money on.
Yeah, 100%, Brandon. I love that comment, dude. Love that. Yeah, so that definitely is going to be something to keep an eye out for this defense, especially with, I know we got some pretty good pressure on CJ Stroud the first matchup, but he was able to make a lot of plays with his feet. But ever since that matchup, the Colts defense has, especially on the defensive line, has just been absolutely decimated with injuries. Tyquan Lewis has been on short-term IR. DeForest Buckner has been out since the second week. Laiatu Latu has had to basically take on a starting role because of all the injuries. Even Grover Stewart missed a game early in the season, and Ebukam missed before the season even started. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. So it's been crazy. But the defensive line might actually get some help this week because DeForest Buckner has been practicing this week, coming off of the IR last week, and actually was a full participant at practice today. So definitely gives me a vote of confidence that we will see some help on that defensive line. Do you still have that fear with this Colts defensive line? I know we had 4 sacks on you guys the first matchup. It didn't really seem to impact the offense too much for you guys. Do you have any concerns about it? Maybe your offensive line has looked not as good as the year's gone on.
Yeah, I mean, in pass protection, a big concern. On the ground, I have no issue. Joe Mixon, he makes his offensive line better, Derek. He now has 3 100-yard games when he plays 4 quarters for this Houston Texans team. I mean, against you guys, he almost had a career year, 159. What's going on, Mr. Frank? It's going to be, can this O-line pass protect for CJ Stroud, right? You mentioned all your dudes who were hurt, man. Last week we were saying, hey, Green Bay's not that strong of a front four. CJ was pressured almost 50% of the time. That's going to be it for me, man. If this O-line could give CJ Stroud opportunity to operate, I feel much better about this game. If not, it's going to be, we're going to rely on number 28 to carry this offense, and we're going to hope this defense creates some turnovers.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and hop into the BetUS stuff here, guys. Again, this stream is powered by BetUS. And guys, the odds have been changing quite a bit here. Ruben, to start the week,
6 points.
I think the Texans were a 6.5 point favorite starting the week out, but now Houston, that lead has dropped a little bit. Houston is actually now only a 4.5 point favorite, probably due to Jonathan Taylor potentially coming back and DeForest Buckner potentially coming back. And obviously with Houston suffering that loss last week, the numbers are starting to sway a little bit closer than what they originally were. It's definitely getting much, much closer. We're definitely going to take the Colts here because this is a Colts channel. We'll go ahead and pick that either way. But the over-under, we're currently sitting at 45.5 right now, Ruben. You going with the over on this thing?
I might. We were there last, we were there last time, 29-27. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I think it will be an over. I know that the Colts offense has kind of had its moments as of recently, but it's something about when we play Houston and Indy just always have these shootouts. It's close shootouts, but it's always shootouts. So I will definitely take that bet on. If you guys put $30 on this, you can win 78 as it stands right now.
30 ball.
So be sure to check out BetUS, guys, and also be sure to take advantage of this great new deal they have for you. A 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit. And then when you do use the promo code YouTube150, you'll get a 125% sign up bonus on your next 2 deposits. Just be sure to use the promo code YouTube150. But of course, guys, be responsible and be safe with it. All right. We talked a little bit about Jonathan Taylor. Wasn't much of a factor in the first game. Really, because I don't know if it was part of the offense. I have no idea. But Jonathan Taylor has missed the last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, actually. And it sure sounds like he's going to play on Sunday. His quote that he had, which was kind of funny, is like, I don't like to put the negativity in the air, so I always say that I'm going to play. But of course, I heard that comment and I was like, tell me you're not going to play without telling me you're not going to play. But then I saw he was a full participant, which actually gives me really good hope that he will, because limited participation, that's one thing. Full participation, fully believe that him and DeForest Buckner are going to play. Do you think that Jonathan Taylor will be a bigger aspect in the offense this time around than what we saw week 1 against you guys?
I mean, does he have more than 50 yards? I do think so. However, it is tough. You know, he comes back from IR going up against a top 5 Russian defense in the NFL. I do believe we'll get Henry To'oTo'o back this week from a concussion, and we just signed linebacker Devin White, who was on the street. It will be interesting to see. You know, Jonathan Taylor is known for destroying the Houston Texans in the past. Doesn't happen 2 times in a row. I don't think he's going to, you know, he could have 80, 85 yards, and I'll still feel like the Houston Texans will be comfortable with this game.
Okay.
You know, it's going to be about, can your quarterback, can he make it happen?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a wild journey. And, we talked about Anthony Richardson a little bit, and every single week, I mean, it has been like that. How has he looked? How has, this and this? And it's been a lot because, Jonathan Taylor hasn't played for a good chunk of this year. And, with Anthony Richardson coming back, Anthony Richardson really helps Jonathan Taylor and the run game become better, because defenses have to respect Anthony Richardson's ability to run. But we haven't gotten to see a lot of opportunities of Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor together. Certainly hope that we'll see a good opportunity here on this game. Now, I mean, we got to talk about Anthony Richardson. I know how all you boys over there at the AFC South Roundtable feel about him.
IR5?
I pretty much know how everyone in the roundtable feels about him. Ain't nobody have any confidence in the man at all.
Well, how can you, bro? When he can finish a game, and when he is out there,
he did
throws
finish
the ball.
A game. He just finished the last one. What you talking about?
A broken clock is right twice a day. You feel me? Like, when you look at his full body of work, man, you're like, how is this dude a top 5 pick in the draft, man? From the outside looking in, doesn't look like it's going to work out with Anthony Richardson. Now, of course, as a Colts fan, you got to keep the faith right for the shoe. This is our coach. This is our team. I believe Derek bleeds blue. But, from the outside, like, we just know your boy's going to give us one. He might give us 2. We just got to take advantage of it. And I'm not lying. Anthony Richardson
didn't have a turnover in the last game, man. That's all I'm saying.
Broken clock is right twice a day, right? And you can so there's this all 8 quarters, we're excited for the 8 quarters, and then it's kind of like the same as last year. However, he does have that big play factor. But how are you feeling? Like, does your confidence grow every single week? I mean, when you
as far as like, it's not a thing of like, for like, when it comes to my overall confidence in Richardson, week by week, I don't know if it's really changing. I think that we were talking about it. Me and a bunch of other Colts content creators were talking about this, and Cody asked the question, like, how much time do you give him before you start seriously saying, yeah, it's time to consider the idea that maybe Anthony Richardson isn't actually, in fact, the guy? And I think most of us agreed it's probably not until the end of the 2025 season
Oh, I
where
think you're
we'll
giving
start
him too much
saying
of a
if
leash.
he doesn't look like he's made a drastic difference by then we'll start being like, all right, maybe we start actually thinking here, maybe this isn't going to continue. But I mean, again, this whole year, again, as much as I wish that we could be more consistent offensively, I will not let it waver from the fact of the bigger goal here, which is to allow this kid to continue to get the reps that are so needed to make him a more efficient quarterback. And the problem is too, is, people are talking about him being unable to hit the underneath stuff and hitting the short stuff. The problem is the Shane Steichen playbook that he has Anthony Richardson doing right now. There's so much play action and so much RPOs that there's not a lot of that short game that comes with it. When it comes to play action stuff, you're looking down the field. You're looking to throw that ball 20, 30, 40 yards down the field a lot. And that is what I think is a part of the reason that we're seeing this dynamic where people say he can't throw the underneath stuff and, he doesn't take the easy stuff. All I'll say is in the last game, he avoided unnecessary hits. He did hit a few under routes that were actually a little better than what he has in weeks past. And that is those small improvements that we hadn't seen at any point this year, which is exactly what I want to see. But it's going to be a long season. It is. It's going to be a long season. Just got to ride it out.
I just feel like when you add on like the other rookie quarterbacks who are doing good this season and, the recent success of year one quarterbacks, I felt like the leash on Anthony is just getting shorter, man. And,
I don't think it is. I mean, I know that national media people are talking about it, but then again, national media people don't understand the circumstance, which I'm kind of shocked at, that people who cover this game for a living don't understand the circumstance of why they're playing Anthony Richardson over Joe Flacco. Honestly, I don't understand it. But that's for another video.
For sure.
We can talk about that at another time. I saw this and I wanted to say it. CJ's favorite CJ Stroud moment.
The one to Nico first play 75.
It's either against Michigan State, where the first 6 drives against Michigan State, 4 touchdowns for CJ Stroud, and they scored a touchdown on every drive in the first half against Michigan State, or it was that Georgia game where CJ Stroud proved to everyone, okay, this guy actually is the real deal. It's funny, Ruben, because had CJ Stroud not done that against Georgia, there's a possibility you guys might not have actually drafted him in the first place. And then he might have fell all the way to Indy, and then the roles would be flipped here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the same, but if my aunt had a ball, it should be my uncle, but it just, it fell right into place, man. We lose the number 1 overall pick, and thank God the Carolina Panthers decided to go Bryce Young instead of CJ Stroud. And I mean, it is what it is. We got the offensive rookie of the year.
Panthers owner. He ruined everything. He could have had CJ Stroud, and then a lot of things could have been better. It could have. The Panthers right now could have been, sitting there in a potential playoff spot because of CJ Stroud. But, it is what it is. Zach Rose with a $2 super chat. Anthony Richardson is just as good as our O-line, referring to the Texans O-line. So it is what it is. Hey, thank you for the super chat, by the way. So how's the defense looking for Houston right now? I haven't been able to watch a lot of the Houston games recently mainly because y'all play right at the same time that we are. And I only ever catch the endings of your games. So give me insight on that.
Yeah, I think this defense is a top unit in the NFL against the run. Their top five do kind of struggle against the pass. I don't want to say struggle, but the wide receivers will win some. The DBs will win some as well. So it'll be a great matchup against you guys, the wide receivers, with Michael Pittman and Josh Downs, who I am a big fan of. We probably won't have our captain Azeez Al-Shaair out there, our starting linebacker. Neville Hewitt, he started for us last week, led the team in tackles, got an interception against Jordan Love, and then we might get Henry Tua back. This defense led by D'Amico Ryans, man, it's different. It's elite. They really do swarm to the football. It's not just one Houston Texan making a tackle. It's 5 or 6 of them are edge rushing duos. They have woken up. Will Anderson Jr., a sack last week, 3 sacks the week before, AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Danielle Hunter, a sack last week against Jordan Love. Danico Archer, who we're getting back from suspension, he is playing in his second game, so knocking some of the rust off. This defense, they had you in the game last week against Green Bay, and this defense is a big reason why they are 5-2.
Yeah, I know. Another thing too, and I've noticed it with the Colts have faced a lot of really good defenses to start this year. We've faced the Packers. We've faced you guys. We're going to face you guys twice, and you guys have a pretty solid secondary. And, facing the Dolphins, best pass defense out there. Titans is number 3. There's been a lot of defenses that this team has had to face, and the fact that we've been able to consistently put up over 20 points a game in most of them is pretty dang good. Going back to your guys' offense for a second and the Colts defense. It's funny because this is going to be a very different unit than what you guys saw the first time around. You guys saw Juju Brents the first time, and you will not see him this one. This time you're going to see someone named Samuel Womack, who actually, ever since he's come to Indy, has been the 4th highest graded corner by PFF since joining Indianapolis in week 2. So in his last 6 games, he's been really good. I mean, he's locking people down. And Jalen Jones has certainly gotten better. And knowing he doesn't have to go up against Nico Collins certainly makes me feel a whole hell of a lot better. And of course, Kenny Moore has finally started to figure it out a little bit. With you guys missing Nico Collins and this Colts secondary who seems to have finally found some kind of footing, does it make you a little bit, how well do you think Stroud is going to be able to move the football in comparison to the first matchup? Do you think it's going to be a little bit more challenging?
Yeah, absolutely. When you don't have number 12 out there, why I feel confident is you do got Joe Mixon. And what he did in week 1, 159 yards, almost a career day for him, was great. I want to see my tight end involve Dalton Schultz. You guys, you allow a pretty high good grade to opposing tight ends. We haven't seen Dalton Schultz be, used all year effectively. Maybe that's there this Sunday. The offense has received a lot of criticism, Derek, over the past week again, since Green Bay. It's something that, that D'Amico's talked about, saying, yeah, I know a lot of people are upset about the offense. They have a chip on their shoulder this week. I do think it will be a little tougher to move the ball. I think your secondary has become respectable, but, we got Joe Mixon, and whenever I got number 7 back there, man, I feel like I could do anything.
Yeah, that is the one piece of the puzzle that is definitely going to concern me very much, is knowing that you guys have Joe Mixon again. And last time we knew that the reason he did as good as he did is because the Colts blatantly told it. Gus Bradley said we completely abandoned trying to stop the run because we were trying to extremely focused on stopping the pass. And it clearly showed you couldn't do either in the first matchup. This time around, without Nico Collins and, a better understanding of the offense this time around, is hopefully going to give Gus Bradley a better understanding, and we can actually put more resources towards stopping the run. But I still don't trust it. I still don't trust it because, this Indy defense has still not been very good at stopping the run regardless of anything. So I don't know. I would like to, I'm inclined to think the latter, that the Indianapolis Colts will find a way to slow down Joe Mixon, but I doubt it. I really do. As much as it's improved, it's certainly still not much better than you would think it would be.
Yeah, no. This is where I look to our wide receivers. Hey, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell. One of you two has to wake up. If Joe Mixon gets it going and they focus on him, like one of you guys should be able to beat. Like I said, you guys have a respectable defense, but I still we could win our matchups. We haven't seen a Tank Dell game all year. Has been a no-show after talking a lot of, big stuff for Sunday Night Football, saying, I'm built for the lights, had -3 yards. We're a big fan of Tank, man, but he's been a no-show so far in the season. We're still waiting for that big Stephon games, 100-yard plus game, multiple touchdown game. Maybe that just comes. You hope so in the absence of number 12. But if Joe Mixon gets it going and one of these wide receivers figures it out, man, this might be a pretty good game, Derek.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, we're kind of coming towards the very end of this. We kind of understand already a little bit of what we're going to expect because we saw it the first time around. Obviously, we know you think that the Texans are going to win this. Give us your score prediction for this.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go 30-27, man. Let's have another close game. And, let's have a Kaimi Fairbairn, kick, send it off for Houston. And they advance to 6-2 on the season, continue to be first place in the AFC South, man. But I expect it to be a good game. Hopefully, we both end out healthy.
All right. Well, I will go the exact same score, but I will have the Indianapolis Colts on the right side of the 30-27. So, yeah, I'll go with that, guys. 30-27. Who comes out on top? Well, you're going to have to wait until Sunday to decide and see. Ruben, thanks again, man, for hopping on for me.
Yes,
I know
sir.
it was a little bit of a struggle to find the right time for us to get on here this week, but I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate that. No worries. Anytime, man.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let us know your thoughts on this game coming up. And be sure to check out the AFC South Roundtable, guys. You guys can find Ruben and I there every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you know what? At the end of this matchup, it still isn't going to matter. We're both still going to be the teams that are going to laugh at the other two teams
on
the other side of the roundtable because, we have something to fight for and they don't.
Imagine having Will Levis as your quarterback. Or Trevor Lawrence for that contract.
For real, though. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Colts.